officially, Arsenal is going to be playing its open doors preseason game. First preseason game. The first one they played was behind closed doors. You remember that very well. Where the guy or the man himself, known as Tzolis, came up and obviously put in a very huge performance, and many others really registered some huge performances in there for you. And this time around, Arsenal is going to be playing against Girona. Arsenal are obviously having most of their players back, and the ones not yet back, Saliba is having a back injury. Raya, Merino, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka. That is it. And I think the rest of the players of Arsenal are really back. And we wait to see where the manager will use most of them. But we're here to really let you know that it is really going to be hard for us to guess the probable starting 11. But we are here to obviously try to guess and see whether things will obviously come to pass in there for you. Now, Girona are coming in through to play against the team known as Arsenal. And Girona is a team that has some good players that you obviously know. And for Girona, it's only one player who is obviously going to be missing out in action. And who is that player? It's none other than Onahi, who is going to be missing out because of the World Cup. But the rest of the team, the rest of the players are really going to be readily available. Now, for Girona, they went ahead to obviously start their club friendlies way back on the 22nd of July. That's when they came up and really beat Olot by 3-1. Then they lost to Alaves by 1-0. And in their last game they played on the 29th on Wednesday, they drew with Castellon 3-3. And now they're obviously coming through to take on Arsenal in a stadium known as Estadi Montilivi that capacitates 14,624 people. You understand? So that's all about a team known as Arsenal for you. Now, the other Arsenal player that is expected known to feature is Timber, who was flown back to England, and it said he might be injured there for you. But what went ahead to see today, a lot of players were in action today. I've seen Gabriel Magalhaes, Victor Gyökeres, Tzolis, Hinkapie, Carafiori, Ben White, Melie, Kepa Arrizabalaga, Waneri, Lewis Kelly, Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Max Daumann. You understand? They've been attending the last training session that leads them to the game of football that is going to be played tomorrow in there for you. So let's get into the probable starting 11 for the side of Arsenal, and then we'll obviously bring in that of Girona. Now, the system 4-3-3 is what I think the manager will obviously feature, or a 4-2-3-1, and then we obviously head into the goal. Melie, I think, is going to be getting his official debut for the club of Arsenal. Right back, Benjamin White, because I've seen him training with the club of Arsenal. I think he has recovered from his knee injury, though the manager might be like, I don't want to obviously play him a lot because they do have plans of obviously letting him go. So they might find themselves in a position of putting out another player and not really give him a lot of minutes to stretch him and maybe keep him fit for where they believe he's supposed to be playing next. Left back, obviously Riccardo Carafiori coming in through to represent. That is the Italian to do the needful. Then left-sided centre-back, obviously Hinkapie coming in through to do the job, and right-headed centre-back, we are going to see Mosquera doing the needful. And it shows you that this Arsenal squad is improving every other day, because this preseason they're almost having team players that can really come up and even start the league, and they even win matches. We go to the single pivot. I do believe that it's going to be Miles Lewis-Kelly, recently a midfielder. He was being played as a midfielder since his childhood, but when Arsenal went ahead to get a problem of Zinchenko, Jakub Kivio, and Carafiori injured. This guy went ahead, obviously coming through and really feature predominantly. Alongside him will be Kai Havertz in the midfield, I do believe that. And then we also expect a player known as Ethan Nwaneri to come in through and really play as a number 10 in this particular encounter. Leading the line, obviously, it's going to be Max Doman, right forward. Left forward, Tzolis comes in through to obviously get his Arsenal debut in there for you, and Gabriel Jesus will lead the line for the club of Arsenal. So that's how I do believe the club of Arsenal will look in this particular encounter. And for Tzolis, everyone is going to be looking at him to see how he is going to hit, obviously, fit into this team. But I want to tell you that the man, the Arsenal correspondent for the Standard, known as Collins, has come up and told us that he is the deadliest player in the training sessions of Arsenal. Benjamin White went ahead, obviously, revealed that. So, Tzolis is the most deadly player alive at the club of Arsenal in the training sessions. And I just can't wait to see whether he's obviously going to be bringing in his toughness to the side of Arsenal as they take on Girona. Best opposition for him to obviously showcase exactly what he's made of. And this is going to be the first game for the club of Arsenal, and others will obviously come in through to see to it that Arsenal puts in a very huge shift to take their fitness levels to the next level as they prepare for the Community Shield against Manchester City. Even Manchester City is playing its first game of the preseason tomorrow. Arsenal is playing Girona, a team under the City group. You understand? So we just can't wait to see how things really pan out. But for the rest of the players, you obviously have to understand what they have onto their table that they might not be starting. But I would expect Gabriel Magalhaes to come in through, Gabriel Martinelli to come and feature, Gyökeres to obviously come and feature. Which other player? Which other player, that will obviously come out and feature. So I expect Arteta to say to it that he really gives most of his players some playing time in this game, such that in their next fixture, they obviously put out a very huge shift. But for Girona, we obviously have to wait and see how things pan out. In a 4-3-3 system, Girona comes up with Krapatasov in goal, A. Martinez, Lopez, Yakobishvili, and Moreno, back three. Bertrand, Martin, and Kamara coming in through to obviously play in the midfield three, and then Mishevi, Gill, and Van Het will do the needful in there for you. So, Danny Van de Beek is one of those that we expect to obviously show up in this beautiful encounter, because over the match they played on Wednesday, he came up and obviously represented for 45 minutes. So you never know, he might come up and obviously put in a very huge shift at that beautiful game of football. And that is exactly what we expect from this game. My prediction is 3-1 for the club of Arsenal in this particular encounter. I don't know what you think about this particular encounter, but it's obviously going to be giving us a test for how Arsenal will approach the questions that a team known as Girona will obviously pose to them. You understand? So I'm here to let you know that the club of Arsenal is doing the needful to see to it that all goes on well as planned for the manager. But after this game of football, Arsenal will have to play other games. And after playing against Girona, right, that is Arsenal, we expect him to obviously play against Betis on Wednesday, that is 5th. Then Borussia Dortmund on Sunday, that is the Emirates Cup. Then they have to play Como, 12th August, before they obviously take on Man City over the weekend. And they'll open up the Premier League on the 21st of August. And I do really understand why they're going to open up the Premier League like this, because it's really going to be Arsenal doing the needful on a Friday to take on their mantle and really present their trophy to their fans. Rokan David is out.